After we finished our history lesson in Theobomus, we are now left with even more questions and even less answers. But there is no time to ponder any longer, because Labyrinthos, the commander of the Miragent Holy Templars, called us to him. A long while ago, when we uncovered pieces of our forgotten past, we told Labyrinthos about it, and even though the tale seemed strange to him, it was also somehow familiar. So he did some digging and found out what we were doing there in Karamatis. Our mission in Karamatis was to find the artifact of memory, to uncover details about an ancient event. We assume it is about the peace talks and the resulting cataclysm afterwards. Labyrinthos suggests that if we can find the artifact of memory, we will have a chance to restore our memories, and also we may learn the secrets we originally sought. The problem here, however, is that Labyrinthos has no clue how to get to Karamatis, or where it even is. So he sends us to Ludina, the owner of the Dionysia Tavern, and also says if she should not cooperate, we should mention Pernos, because those two have history. As we ask Ludina about Karamatis, she plays dumb, but after we mention Pernos, she's more than ready to help us. She says that underneath the Divine Fortress, a rift will open at specific times, and that we could get to Karamatis this way. Now we know where to go, but since we need a bit more information, we make our way to Pernos in Poeta. He already expected us, as usual, and he warns us. Recovering your memories will not make everything right in the world. It may even make things more difficult. Knowing this, tell me, do you wish to proceed? We say yes, and Pernos agrees to help us. He says that even though we were the leader of the Mirage Legion, which were legendary and Ariel's chosen few, we got vanished, or something similar. Vanishing is when a Deva doesn't resurrect at an obelisk, and it could mean either certain death with no way to resurrect. This could be due to malfunctioning kisks and obelisks, or what in the early times often happened is that people vanished in the endless abyss with no way to return, basically being lost, drifting away in the endless abyss forever. To prevent this from happening again, he suggested to get a better weapon, and for that he sent us to the master craftsman, Anuzes. However, he thinks that his craftsmanship won't be enough, so he hands us a list with various materials and says we should gather those and then go to the Shugos of the Tigraki workshop. The list includes 3 important items. The fragment of the Shining Tower, which seems infused with mysterious power, but we don't know any more about it. We can get it by opening a shining box on the steel rig ship. The second item is Drana Tempered Steel. It is simply extremely strong steel, and we can get it in Dark Poeta, in one of the Balaur supply boxes. And the last material is an elemental crystal that you can only get by defeating the unstable Trioran in the Theobomus lab. Gathering these means a lot of work, but after we finally collected them, we make our way to Shoshinerk, a Shugo from the Tigraki workshop. The Shugo is strangely very happy to help us, without any bartering or making any demands, very unusual for a Shugo. After only a short time, the Shugo hands us the weapon, but warns us that even though we will be unstoppable with this weapon, the weapon will only work once, so we have to choose the moment to use it very carefully. We return to Pernos to show him the weapon, and he acknowledges the immense power this weapon holds. He decides to hold on to the weapon until we are ready to depart for Karamatis. He tells us that even though we have a very powerful weapon now, we also need protection, and for that we will have to visit some old friends. First we shall visit the Elims Daminu, Lodas and Abolu, and ask them for their blessings. Then we shall meet the etheric field protectors to learn more about etheric energy. Something is wrong, but knowing that you are the one to remedy our fears steadies my nerves. Your path is known to me, Deva. You face something dark and forbidding, something most would falter at. Most, but not you. I see you're carrying a vessel for such power. Your task ahead must be dark indeed. You're preparing for a very difficult mission. What little I can do, I will. I pray that Aeon keeps your heart as strong and noble as it is. As we approach the last person, who is Eucleus, the high priest that attended our ascension, he says something very interesting when he sees the marble we stored our blessings onto. Let me see that marble. Reminds me of my childhood. Talk about a long time ago. What exactly does that mean now? Do Devas in general gather blessings like this to take on difficult missions? Because this is the first time we hear about that. Anyway, we return to Pernos and hand him the marble. Pernos then sends us on our way with these final words. Now that we have the weapon and the spell of protection, what we have to do is to go find the artifact of memory. As I said many times in the past, the way to Karamatis isn't going to be easy, but you must fully recover your memory in order to know who you really are. With that, you will know which path you must take. We make our way into the abyss and below the divine fortress. Here we find a rift that leads us to Karamatis. On the other side of the rift we meet a friendly face, Hermione. She was sent here by Pernos to help us. She infuses the power of the Pearl of Protection into us, and also binds the Sword of Transcendence to our soul. This way it will lose its appearance, but its power will be bound to us, and help us defeat our enemies ahead. After defeating the many Balaur in our path, we finally meet Ornus, the Naga general that beat us in our strange vision. We managed to defeat Ornus this time, and arrive in front of the artifact of memory. We activate the artifact and see a man talking to a Balaur lord, saying something about a deal, and how the Dragon Lord only really has to convince Phrygian. Meslamtada and Tiamat don't matter in this decision.
You're trying to see too much at once. It's dangerous. Any more could be fatal.
But before we hear more, a stranger stops and maybe even destroys the artifact. This stranger turns out to be Lafar, the leader of the Letherists. As we ask him what he wants, he answers, "I require your power. If you come to me, I will let you know the truth of Sanctum, that place that you believe to be filled with justice. I will tell you the truth of your 5 Seraphim Lords. Unless you want to live a lie, you must entrust yourself to me. I will feed you the first bit of truth since your waking." Here we are met with a choice to either trust Lafar and learn of his truth, or to refuse him and, as he says, live a lie. We answer that we will never comply to him. That's unfortunate. I suspect the Shadow Folks have gotten a hold of you. Our fate is more closely intertwined than you would be willing to believe. Rest assured, you will see me again. Your answer proves you have no thoughts of your own, rather you believe what others tell you. I can think of no safer place for you than Ariel's hive. Off to Elysia with you. We answered that we want to know the truth. Very wise, forgotten memory. I see it was worth my time to wait for you. I won't set you to task right away. You will know when the time comes. For now, continue on as a faithful servant of Sanctum. Tell no one that we've spoken, and I will send you to Elysia the easy way. We will probably meet next in Balaur. Keep your eyes open for something interesting. With that, he teleports us back to Sanctum. We make our way to Phasimedus, the governor of Sanctum, to make our report. Phasimedus lets us know that Lord Kaizinel is in Balaur. He recently discovered the location of the Dragon Lord Tiamat there, and is fiercely leading an attack. But we have also learned that the Shadim Lord Marketon of Asmodee is also there, trying to kill Tiamat. We can't let the Asmodeans win this battle. It is ours to win. When everything is ready, Phasimedus will summon us to join the battle in Balaur. But for now, we shall rest up and take care of any business left unfinished here in Elysia.